All right, let's get practicing in QuickBooks Online. Grab the link below in the description so that you can follow along. All right, here we are in the QBO Gym. And the QBO Gym is a place where we have numerous hands-on exercises that simulate real-life scenarios that you may encounter as a bookkeeper. We come out with new exercises each month and break it down for you into 4 different sections. Today, we are working in the March Year 1 cardio section where we really focus on those basic skills. At the top here is an animated video to give you a synopsis of what is going on in Craig's world this month. He is our fictitious business owner. Further down is an interactive pre-assessment quiz. Below that are all of the exercises in this section. And at the bottom here is an optional area where after you have completed all of the exercises in this section, we do have some sample posts that you can use on your LinkedIn to share with everybody what you have learned so far. So let's dive right into today's exercise where we practice paying a credit card bill. Go ahead and click on that link to have the exercise pulled up. I have it here on the right-hand side of my screen, so let's read through our scenario. Craig left you the credit card statement and asked you to make the payment. What steps do you need to take? Note that this exercise does not require a downloaded statement, but it does require you to be in the sample company. Now, if you're not sure how to get into the sample company or get your own free QBOA account, be sure to click on the link below in the description. I have the sample company pulled up here on the left side of my screen. Once you sign in, this is what it will look like. This is the dashboard. So let's go ahead and dive right into today's exercise. First, you'll want to make sure you have processed all the bank feeds for this account. This means comparing what went into and out of the bank and making sure there is a correct record of it in QBO. So to get to the banking center from the left navigation bar, we're going to hover over transactions and then select bank transactions. The left navigation bar is over here. This is transactions. Hover over that and then select bank transactions from that drop down. Alternatively, you could have selected bank transactions here. This is bookmarked, but in case you don't have that in your client's books, they don't have it bookmarked, you would just do exactly what we just did. Hover over transactions and then select bank transactions. Now, if this is your first time in this area, you will get this pop-up here that's giving you an overview of what this area is all about. Go ahead and click out of it. We do not need it for this exercise. Now we are working in the MasterCard, so we need to click in the on the MasterCard tile. So right now it is selected on the checking because it is blue. We need to, I need to scroll over because right now it's checking, savings, and then here's the MasterCard. Once you find the tile, go ahead and click on it so it turns blue. And then all of the transactions related to or in the MasterCard are going to show up here on the bank feed. Now, as we take a look at the transactions, you will notice that there are 2 transactions for Squeaky Clean Car Wash that QBO does not know how to match. Let's address these first. You can see that right here it says 2 matches found. This one says 1 match found. And just as a note here, QBO is always trying to make matches that they think is an actual match. And so that's why this says 1 match found and this says 2 matches found because it is looking for transactions based on the amount, not the name. In this case, though, there are 2 transactions for the exact same amount from the exact same vendor. So let's click on the first Squeaky Clean Car Wash transaction to expand it. So go ahead and click on it. And you can see here, these are the suggested matches. These are the 2. The one is down here and the other one is up here, but QBO doesn't know which one is which. So you'll notice that they are suggesting, as I mentioned, the 2 possible different or 2 possible match for 2 different ones. The one with the matching date is already selected and is the correct transaction. So if you take a look at this date right here, yours is going to be different, probably what based on when you are doing this activity because the sample company is always changing their dates. So whatever date is showing here needs to match the date of the selected transaction, which this one is already selected, and this is the correct one. So this is the one we want. So go ahead and click on the green match button. And that one has been matched. And you will notice that once that one has been resolve, the second one is automatically resolved as well. Here it is down here, and you can see it says one match found. Now we can go ahead and select and accept the remaining matching transactions, which is 4 total. So let's go ahead and click on the checkbox next to Bob's Burger, next to Squeaky Clean Car Wash, next to Norton Lumber and Building Materials, and then next to Tanya's Nursery. Let me scroll through here. That's telling us exact to do all of that. And now on the black bar, we want to click accept, which is right here. Go ahead and click on that. And when you do, those 4 transactions have now been matched. Now for the remaining 2 transactions, we need to check with Craig. He tells you that he returned some software that he bought on Amazon and that he ordered some business cards from Lara's Lamination. So let's address the Amazon transaction first. So let's click on it to expand it. So that's the top one here. Click on that. Now, since Amazon is currently not in the system, we need to add them. So to do that, in the vendor customer field, we're going to type Amazon and then click on plus new Amazon. So click into this vendor customer field, go ahead and type Amazon. And then we're going to click on the plus new Amazon. Now, because this was a money in transaction, QBO is automatically thinking that this is a customer, but in reality, Amazon is a vendor. So we need to make the adjustment here because currently it is saying customer. So we want to click the contact type field and then select vendor. So contact type is right here. Go ahead and click on that field and then select vendor from the drop down. And now it is a vendor profile. We are not going to add any other information here, so all we need to do now is just click on Save. That's the green button on the bottom right corner of the sample company. Click on that. And then in the account field, let's go ahead and categorize this. We're going to select office expenses. So click the down arrow on that account field. If you scroll up just a little bit, you will see office expenses. Go ahead and select that. And then we're just going to click on the green add button. And now that transaction has been categorized. Let's fix the last one. This one is for Lara's Lamination. So we're going to click on that transaction. So go ahead and do that to expand it. Once again, she is not we need to add her as a vendor because she is not a current vendor. So once again, we're going to type in Lara's Lamination into this field and then click on the plus add new Lara's Lamination. So go ahead and click into it, type the name of her business, Lara's Lamination, and then let's go ahead and click the plus add new. Now this time, because the transaction is money out or money spent, the vendor card is already selected, which is what we want because she is a vendor. We are just going to click save, but of course in real life, if you have any other information about a vendor or customer, you want to make sure that you put it in here. It's always best to have that, especially email, phone number, contact information is super important if you ever need to reach out. So let's go ahead and click on the green save button because we are all done for now. And then let's go ahead and categorize this. So in the account field, let's go ahead and select advertising. If you click on that down arrow, you can scroll all the way to the top of that list and you will see advertising there. Go ahead and select that. Everything else is good. So all we need to do now is just click on the green add button. Go ahead and do that. And now that transaction has been categorized and we have processed all of the transactions in the bank feed. Now that all of the transactions have been confirmed, before paying the bill, you want to reconcile the account, just like you would a regular bank account. So to get started with that, we're first going to go to the bank register. So click on that right here. And this will take you to the credit card register. If you get any pop-ups, just go ahead and click out of those. QBO is just trying to be helpful. And now let's go ahead and reconcile. We're going to click on that green reconcile button on the top right corner there. Now in the sample company, you will get a couple of welcome screens. And in a real life scenario, you would get these the first time that you reconciled, but after that, they would never show up. So this is just QBO giving you an overview of this area. Go ahead and click on Get Started. And then there's the other pop-up is going to come in. Just go ahead and click on Let's Get Reconciled. Now let's go ahead and fill this out. We don't need to change the account. It's currently selected as MasterCard, which is what we want. And the reason it's showing as MasterCard is because we were in the MasterCard register, and then from there we had gone to reconcile. So QBO is automatically assuming that we want to reconcile that MasterCard, which is what we want to do. So let's go ahead and fill out these two fields right here. In the ending balance field, let's go ahead and type $217.73. Click into it, type 217.73. In a real life scenario, you would use the ending date from the bank statement. Now, for the purposes of this exercise, we're just going to enter today's date, and just know that your date is probably going to differ than what is on my screen. So in the ending date field, go ahead and select today's date. You can click on the calendar icon, or you can and find the date, or you can click into the box, type a lowercase t, and today's date will automatically appear for you. We are good on this page, so let's go ahead and start reconciling. Click on the green Start Reconciling button, and then this screen will appear. If you get any pop-ups, just go ahead and click out of those as well. Now, before moving on with reconciling, let's take a minute to review what you're actually looking at on your screen. Because if this is your first time ever reconciling, this may seem really intimidating, and there's a lot of numbers and transactions. So let's go over it so that we can, so you have better understanding of what this is all about. So the first thing, the beginning balance, which is right here, this is the ending balance from the last time that you reconciled. It cannot be changed. This one is $0. Typically, there is some kind of number here, but this is from the last time that it was reconciled. Now, the statement ending balance is from the bank statement or credit card statement, and it's what we entered on the previous screen. That is right here, this 217.73. That is what we just entered. We also entered this statement ending date for today's date. Again, yours may be different than what you see on my screen. Now, if you discover that either one of these is incorrect, you can always click on the Edit Info button to edit it. So just know that once you do this, it's not like it's set in stone. You can always make the adjustment if, for whatever reason, it is the wrong amount or the wrong date. Now, next to each transaction is a circle. I'm going to scroll over a little bit so you can see that. Here are the circles. Now, these will have blue check marks if the transaction has already been marked as cleared, just like when you're processing a bank fee. So once you start clicking on these circles, once you have compared it to the bank or credit card statement and you see that it matches here, you're going to click on that circle to have the blue check mark appear. And then once you do that, it is going to be added to the total payments or charges, which is right up here. So just as an example here, I'm just going to click on this. You see this amount for charges and payments. If I click on this one, it has made the adjustment. So as you are going through, these will change. Now, the cleared balance is the beginning balance minus the payments and deposits. So your cleared balance is right here, and here is your statement ending balance I'm sorry, the beginning balance plus these is your cleared balance. And the difference is the statement ending balance minus the cleared balance. So statement ending balance minus the cleared balance equals the difference. The goal of reconciling is to check off the transactions until this difference is zero. When it is zero, then that means that everything from the credit card statement is matching what is here in QBO. So once you get that zero, you know that you have completed your reconciliation. Now, as a final note here, the transactions currently showing are only those that are dated on or before the statement ending date. You can turn off this feature, or excuse me, filter by clicking on the X, which is right here. See, it says statement ending date. And you may need to do so if you have transactions that were added with an incorrect date. These are often referred to as hidden or rogue transactions. So if you're trying to find something that's on the bank or credit card statement and you're not finding it here in QBO, it's very possible that the date was incorrect. And so you would click on the X to get rid of that filter and see if maybe it would appear for you. But that's an overview of everything that is here on this screen. So let's go ahead and continue on with our exercise. In a real life scenario, you would need to go through every transaction to make sure that it was recorded correctly in QBO. That's what I mentioned before. You would look at the credit card or bank statement, see that it is you have a matching transaction here in QBO, and then mark it off. But for this exercise, we're just going to confirm that all of the transactions are in fact correct, and we're going to do it at once. So to do that, we're going to click on the circle at the top of the column next to payment, which is right here. Click on that circle to have all of them selected. You'll get this warning from QBO asking if you're sure you want to do this. Go ahead and click on yes, select all. And when you do, the difference has now changed to 0. So we are all finished reconciling here. Let's go ahead and click on finish now. That's the green button right here. And you'll get this last pop-up here that says you've reconciled the account. Now, in a real life scenario, you would have an option to upload a statement at this point. There would be something that says attached statement right here. It is not available in the sample company, so that is why it is not here, but just know that that is an option here as you are working through your client books. So let's go ahead and click on the green done button. We are all finished with the reconciliation. Now that the bank feeds have been processed and the account has been reconciled, it's time to make the payment. Now, there are many ways to do this, including going to the credit card company's website and pulling in the payment, or going to Craig's Bank and pushing the payment to the credit card. You cannot use Melio QBO's built-in bill pay feature to do this. You will need to check with Craig on how to best make the payment. So once you have done so, then you will need to record it in QBO. Paying a credit card, paying a credit card is simply a matter of transferring money from one account to another. Note that QBO does provide a pay down credit card transaction, but we will not be using that for this exercise. So we're going to instead use a transfer transaction. So let's go ahead and make that recording. And as a note here, this is not us actually paying the bill. This is us just recording that the payment has been made. You would need to do it, as I explained, in a couple of different ways before, whether it's going to the credit card company website or pushing it through from the bank. You would just need to check with your client on how they want it done. But once it is done, then that payment needs to be recorded, and that's what we're going to do right now. So we're going to click on the plus new button and then select transfer. The plus new button is on the top left corner of your screen. Click on that, and then under other, select transfer. Let's go ahead and fill out this transaction. In the transfer funds from field, we want to select checking, since that's how he paid it. Go ahead and click on that down arrow and select checking. In the transfer funds to field, we're going to select MasterCard. So click the down arrow again and then select MasterCard. Now, as a note here, you see this balance. This is the balance from QBO. This is what QBO has in the system. It's not necessarily what is in the bank account. This is not live for the bank account. This is just what is showing as available balances in QBO. So the transfer amount field would be 217.73. So click in that box right there, type that 217.73, and then we are all good here. As a note here, you would want to change this date to the credit card payment when it was actually paid, but we're just going to leave it to today's date. So click on the down arrow next to Save and New, and then select Save and Close. And that transfer has been saved. And that is it. That is the process that you would go through in paying a credit card bill. And if you have any questions or want to know more about the QBO Gym, just click on the link below in the description. We move through the cardio section with our next exercise where we practice paying the bills. And I will see you in the next video.